let's get to know the interviewer and interviewee. Rika, the buttercup. Reina, the bubbles. Mari, the blossom. And Mr. David, the interviewee.
Who is Mr. David?
Meet our respondent, Sir David Embert, an 85-year-old expat from New Zealand.
Before moving to the Philippines, Sir David spent 10 years working as an English professor in China. He's been visiting the Philippines since the year 2000, and for the past 3 years, he's made Libmanan, Camarines Sur his home with his Filipina family.
Sir David chose to live here because of the affordability and, more importantly, because of the warmth of the Filipino people. He's also active in the community as a Methodist Church volunteer and even taught theology at Bilibid Prison in Muntinlupa.
Okay, interview time.
Persuasive communications, we study how Filipinos communicate or how is the communications doing in the Philippines. Especially with the expats like you, how's your experiences with our cultures, with our communication styles, like that. I'll ask you some questions regarding with your experiences with staying here in the Philippines.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah.
My question is, what are your pleasant experiences in communicating with Filipinos here in the Philippines?
I don't know Tagalog, but there's no problem communicating in English with Filipino.
So yeah, how about you can remember some pleasant experience, like a wonderful or joyful experiences communicating with Filipinos or Filipinas?
Well, in 2014 to 2017, I was asked to go into Bilibid Prison and teach the prisoners in their English.
Oh.
It was quite an interesting exercise, actually. Yeah, there was a group of men who they were studying theology to be pastors when they left the prison, and a Filipino who had been in Bilibid, he went out and he studied to be someone who can teach these men how to be pastors. And he started this group up inside inside Bilibid, and there was about I had about 20 people altogether, and they're all men. But it was a real exercise because I'd never been inside a prison at all. But it was very safe, and we had a lot of fun together. And
thank you. We're glad to know that we're easy to communicate, and you don't experience any hard or any barrier with that. Miss Rena will ask you a second question.
Hello, Sir David. Thank you for sharing to us your pleasant experiences when it comes to communicating with Filipino people. Now we would like to know what are the challenging situations that you have encountered here in the Philippines, Manito?
Nothing. There's no challenging situations in the Philippines. No. I mean, if you get lost or something, you can ask, but I've never been challenged in the Philippines. Never. Mm-hmm. They've always opened out, and if I've got a problem, they'll help me sort it out. No, I never had anything like that. And but with this government now, this Marcos government, he is really trying very hard. He's had all this flooding to deal with, and someone said, he was part of it, which wasn't right. And then he's got he's got some, and they're trying to build up the transport system, more trains and all that, but he is really trying very hard to make the Philippines a better place, because the problem with the Philippines is, there's 7,006 islands in the Philippines, but 2,000 of them have people living on them, and it's very hard to control 2,000 islands, and some of them are pretty isolated, but they're trying hard. They're trying to get more schools and more medical stuff, and they'll get there. And I've been watching on the TV in the Senate over this thing of Sarah Duterte. She had a whole lot of money, and she was for the education department, and it all disappeared. And
I'm curious, despite the political happenings happenings right now here in the Philippines, what is your motivation, or what is your reason for continuing to stay here in the Philippines?
Well, I'm always staying in the Philippines. It's an easy place to stay in. Some people don't like the hot weather, but that doesn't worry me. I've been in other countries, hot weather, and it doesn't worry me, but some people find it pretty hot. It's about 32 degrees today.
Thank you so much for sharing. We're glad that you have many reasons to stay here in the Philippines. We're glad to hear that po. Now we're going to proceed naman po for our third question, which will be asked by Miss Rica May Abuyo.
Right,
Ren,
so again?
so since you did not deal some challenges while staying here in the Philippines, I am gonna ask you a question that
Yeah.
so how did this change your perspective about Filipinos since you did not experience some challenges or you don't have a hard time staying here in the Philippines?
And people say, we've got to be careful in the Philippines. Honestly, I've had no problem with honesty in the Philippines. Never. And I've been around, I've travelled around a bit. I've been up to Bargo, and I've been right down south, and I've never had any trouble at all. I've never had any trouble. I mean, you've got to use a bit of common sense, but I've never had any troubles with honesty. And I've been up to Baguio, and I've been right down to Mindanao, and I've stayed with Filipino families there, way out in the countryside, and they really looked after me, and I've never had any problem at all. But you've got to be careful. It doesn't matter whether you're in Philippines or New Zealand. You've got to,
Question. I appreciate your thoughtful response and thank you for sharing your experiences here in the Philippines.
This interview beautifully highlighted the core Filipino value of pakikipagkapwa, proving that warmth and openness can easily bridge any cultural gap. Sir David's experiences, from a stranger lending him money at the airport to his foster family embracing him as one of the family, showed that local helpfulness naturally dissolves any communication barriers or challenges, concluding with shared laughter, a group photo, and his empowering reminder that when you're a Filipino, you can do it. This conversation left us deeply proud of our natural hospitality and unique identity.